Hello everyone. Today I will explain you the poem My Mother at 66 by Kamala Das. This is very first poem from the Flamingo book Grade 12th syllabus. Before I start with the explanation of the poem, I would like to tell you something about Kamala Das. Kamala Das was one of the foremost poets of India. She has written many short stories, autobiographies and many other poems. She was also famous by the pen name Madhavi Kutti. Other thing I want to tell you about her is that she has written about women issues, childcare, politics and many others. Now, about this poem, My Mother at 66. It is a wonderful explanation about the relationship between a mother and a daughter. This is a very well known fact that girls are always loved by their mothers and they can share each and everything with their mothers, their joys, their sorrows. But the time comes when their mothers become old, and as the time passes, daughters also get married. They have their own responsibilities, they have their own duties, so they can't attend to their parents the way their parents had done so very beautiful explanation by Kamala Das, in which she explains how does she feel when her mother has become old. Before I start with the explanation, I request Nishit to recite this poem before you.
Hello everyone, now I will recite the poem My Mother at 66 written by Kamala Das. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me. Dozed, open-mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked, but soon put that thought away and looked out at young trees sprinting, the mercy children spilling out of their homes. But after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her, wan, pale as late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear. But all I said was, "See you soon, Amma." All I did was smile, smile, and just smile. Thank you.
Thank you, Nishit. Did you notice one thing? The whole poem is written in just one sentence, one long sentence. So, this kind of technique used by the poets is known as enjambment. Now, I would like to tell you, in this poem, the poetess has used stream of consciousness effect, where it means one thought leads to another. Now, as I have told you that this is enjambment, Enjambment. It is a 14-line poem, but it's written in a single sentence. Other thing I would like to tell you about the poem is that it is in the form of narrative. That means poetess is narrating one particular incident of her life. Now the explanation of the poem. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me. As the beginning of the line indicates that the poetess must have gone to her parents' home, and this was the Friday morning when she was returning to Cochin from her parents' home. Because she was the loving one to her mother, so her mother must have gone with her to see her off to the airport. So what is there? She sees her mother, who was sitting beside her, beside is next to her, who was sitting at the back seat of the car, and she observes her mother keenly. Her mother, who used to be very active, who used to be very energetic, always smiling. Now what she notices, that her mother has become 66 years old. She is a sexagenarian, that is the age between 61 to 70 years. She notices how is she looking at this moment. Doze is small sleep. Open mouthed, her mouth is open. Her face ashen like that of a corpse. Corpse is a dead body. And realized with pain that she was as old as she looked. Now she realizes that her mother, who used to be very energetic in her young age, now she is sleeping, she is sleeping, her mouth is open, and her face, the one who was always chirpy face, now how it looks like, it was compared to the corpse. Corpse is a dead body. Dead body is always still, silent, expressionless. So the same thing she is observing at her mother's face. Her mother's face is looking as dull, as expressionless as that of a dead body, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked. Now, when she was observing keenly her mother, she notices that her mother has become older, and now, with the passage of time, now as the time passes, she will become older, older, and older, and finally she will die. So, this is the moment she realizes that pain, she realizes that sorrow which she is going to face in the near future. She is going to face that her mother is going to die very soon. But soon put that thought away, because she is a practical minded lady. She doesn't want to keep into those thoughts, so she just wants to divert her attention. She doesn't want to think that her mother is to die very soon. So just to divert her attention, she started looking out of the window, looked out at young trees sprinting. So what she observes when she looked out of the window, she notices trees sprinting. Sprinting means running. Whenever we travel by a car, whenever we travel by a bus, train, what we observe, we feel as if trees are running. But actually trees are standing. It is the movement of the vehicles. So she feels trees are running, the merry children spilling out of their homes. Other thing she observes is that many happy children are coming out of their houses. So what is this? It is exactly the opposite to what had happened in the very first thought. In the very first thought, she was realizing that pain, expressionless face of her mother, which was being compared to the corpse. But here it is telling us, which gives some life, some hope. Merry children are full of energy. Trees, which also gives energy, hope. So she looks at that, and side by side she also realizes that she can't be with her mother, as she has her own responsibilities, she has her own duties to attend on. But after the airport's security check, now she has reached at the airport, and for general formalities she has gone there, she has shown her passport and other things. And after that, after getting it checked, standing a few yards away, now she has entered that airport. Now her mother is standing at some distance. So I looked again at her, wan, pale as a late winter's moon. So she again started observing her mother. This time again she is looking, her mother looks colorless, wan is colorless, pale yellowish, dull as a late winter's moon. Now her mother's face is being compared to the moon of late winter. Winter is the last phase of the season. Same way, old age is the last phase of human life. What we feel, late winter's moon, you know what happens in the winter season? Because of fog, because of mist, this moon doesn't give a clear picture of it. In fact, it is blurred. So as same is the case with the old age, it is also not lively, it is not lovely. In fact, it looks very dull, inexpressive. So it is being compared to the late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache. Ache is pain, my childhood's fear. Now what happens when we are small children? We always want our mother to be with us. If for any of the reason our parents have to go somewhere, we even can't tolerate that much separation, because there is a fear in the mind that maybe we are going to lose our mother. But that pain is a temporary one. But this time she realizes that if she is going to lose her mother, that pain is going to be the forever one. That is going to be the permanent one. It means if this time she is going to lose her mother, she is not going to get her back again in her life. So this is going to be the permanent loss to her. But all I said was, see you soon, Amma. One thing was there, if there were so many thoughts up and down in her mind, still she doesn't want her mother to know this thing, how she is feeling. She doesn't want her mother to give pain by telling her that this kind of emotions are there in her mind about her. So just not to let her know, she simply says see you soon, which is a general gesture. Whenever she has departed from her mother, she always said see you soon. So same way she has said this thing again. All I did was smile and smile and smile. So in a very pleasant manner, she has given the parting gesture to her mother. She has just smiled by saying that see you soon, Amma. This way she departed from her mother. So you have understood the poem. Very first thought is coming to her mind. She has gone to her parents' home. When she was returning from there, her mother accompanied her to the airport. So her mother was sitting next to her at the back seat of the car. She observes her mother who used to be very active and energetic in the young age. Now she was looking dull, her mouth is open and she was sleeping. She could not share anything with her mother. She wants to divert her attention, so she started looking out of the window. She saw trees sprinting, she saw merry children coming out of their homes. And third time, when third thought comes to her mind, when she has reached at the airport, now at some distance she looks at her mother. Here also she compares her face to the late winter's moon and the old familiar ache, old familiar pain, that is separation. That, but this time the separation won't be the temporary one, it will be the permanent one. And she doesn't want her mother should know about this thing, so she had given the general gesture, that is see you soon, Amma, and there was a smile on her face. Now I hope you have understood the poem. Let's discuss about the poetic devices used in the poem. First of all, we'll discuss about simile. Simile is what? When there is a comparison by using like or as. If we say as clever as a fox, as fast as tiger. So same is the case. Comparison is being used by like or as. Face Asian like a corpse. Her face is being compared to the corpse by using like. As a late winter's moon. Again her face is being compared to the winter's moon by using as. Next poetic device is personification. Personification, person, as its name indicates. When any non-living thing is given some human quality, that poetic device is known as personification. Trees sprinting. Sprinting is running. Who runs? Human beings. So running is a quality of human beings, but it is used for trees, so it is personification. Like table dancing, chair singing. So these are non-living things, but given human qualities. Door weeping. So that is known as personification. The next is metaphor. Metaphor is again comparison between two unrelated things. Children spilling. Now what is there? Suppose I say all the world is a stage. That is a comparison of world to a stage. That is a metaphor. But if I say all the world is like a stage, because I have used like word, so that will become simile. Next is repetition. As the word name indicates, that is repeated use of words. Here in the poem, in the last, the words smile and are used. So this is repetition. Next is imagery. What is imagery? When some sort of pictures are being presented as if some visual imagery, something you can imagine, that is imagery. So young trees, merry children, they are a contrast to the mother. This image is presented before us. So this is known as imagery. Now I hope you have understood the poem. So these are some questions which I wish you to attempt. I'll just speak the question. I hope you will attempt these questions. Kamla Das was a dash. The poet was leaving the house of dash. She was going to dash. You will fill these questions. The poet was driving towards the dash. The person in the car beside the poetess was dash. The mother of the poetess was dash. The poetess says her mother looked pale like a dash. Kamla Das realized that her mother was very dash. She soon put that thought out of her mind and dash. Out of the car window she saw trees. Sprinting is a poetic device. That is, the narrator also saw children running out of dash. Children spilling out is a dash. The narrator looked at her mother again after. The narrator again compared her mother to winter's moon is a reference to the mother's. When the narrator looked at her mother again, she felt a pang of. The childhood fear was the fear of. What was the expression on the narrator's face? Smile and smile is dash. The mood in the last two lines is that of. The narrator is only using her smile to. Kamla Das has successfully drawn comparison between the image of married children has been brought out by the narrator in order to. Trees sprinting, married children spilling is an attempt by the poet to create. The poem is made up of. Theme of the poem is the mother's old age and lack of energy is a depiction of sprinting means. If you are able to attempt all these 30 questions, then you must understand that you are able to understand this poem. I hope you liked my video. Thank you and have a nice day.